Hello, it's day 48 and the final blog in our series looking at Paula Gooder's book, Journey to the Manger. And what a journey it's been. The genealogies, the stories of Zachariah and Elizabeth, the visitation of the Magi, the birth stories themselves, leading to that life-changing moment when God's salvation had truly arrived. God in human form as a tiny, vulnerable baby. I like Paula's description of that historic journey as a snowball. If you can imagine, we've not had much snow in Somerset, being on top of a hill, making a snowball in your hands. Put a mark in it and let it roll down the hill. As it rolls, it gathers additional layers of snow. Your mark is still inside, and think of it as the beginning of time. As the snowball's journey rolls on, further layers are added. This is the Christian journey that we are all travelling. So journeying on, they met in the temple. Mary and Joseph, Anna, Simeon, and of course Jesus. How did they get there? What brought them to that place of meeting? What brings us to this point in our lives? To the place in our hearts where God is found? Well, Mary and Joseph came in obedience to Jewish law, to present Jesus to the Lord and to offer a sacrifice according to what was written in the law. Behind the legalities, though, I think there was a deep longing of many hearts. For Anna had never left the temple. She had stayed and worshipped there night and day, fasting and praying. Simeon went there, guided by the Spirit. He knew a close relationship with his God. He was devout and was seeking the consolation of Israel. He was drawn to the temple because he longed in his heart to see the baby Jesus, who he knew to be the Son of God. Jesus was brought to the temple by Joseph and Mary. He came not as a passive baby, but as the embodiment of God the Father's longing for humanity. John 3:16 tells us, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." This gathering brought together the longing between humanity and divinity. Our deepest longings are to know and be known. That can only ever really happen in relationship to God. It's not about gathering information or learning about God. This kind of knowing is of the heart, not the intellect. It's about the union that sets us free, the oneness that allows us to depart in peace, and the relationship that is salvation. For this to happen, we must live with and offer the fragility, vulnerability, and the joy of an open and longing heart. That heart is the temple of meeting, the place where today we find Mary and Joseph, Anna and Simeon, and of course Jesus. As we continue the journey and that snowball keeps rolling, we still long to know more about Jesus. Longing is not an absence or emptiness waiting to be filled. Longing is a presence and fullness waiting to be expressed in the moment. Two persons do not long for each other because they are apart. They long for each other because they are in love. We're sometimes too quick to quench the longing, to satisfy the desire. That never takes us to the temple. It keeps life superficial as we move from one thing to another, never being satisfied. Longing, however, keeps us in the moment. If trusted and followed, it will always take us to the temple, that place of meeting. And we discover that amazingly we find that we are already holding the baby Jesus within our hearts. God bless you all. Have a good day.